What up, everybody? Welcome to the Twin Wrestle Pod. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. Let me turn this camera, man. Yo, so Crown Jewel Perth, definitely better than fucking WrestlePalooza. Far better show. Move me over there. Far better show. Better on the card, up and down. Only thing WrestlePalooza really had to go for it is the AJ Lee return for real, and Stephanie and Iyo. But Crown Jewel had a whole lot, man. The crowd was fucking phenomenal. I look out into the crowd and I see all these yellow shirts, and then I'm like, what is that? And then it made sense when we got toward the John Cena AJ Styles match. The whole crowd was decked out in John Cena gear. So for starters, for Saturday morning, right? So I wake up at 6:30 in the morning. I totally forget about the pre-show, but I'm here watching the show live at 8 o'clock sharp. And for this 5-match card, we kicked off with the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns, the OTC. Roman Reigns taking on the Tribal Thief, Bronson Reed, Australian's own Bronson Reed, in an Australian street fight. This was pretty much nothing different, really, from their first match they had in Clash in Paris, really. You knew what you were going to get outside of a minor few things here and there that Roman brought out. He brought, like, the cricket bat out. He brought, like, the rugby ball out, shit like that. Threw it at Paul Heyman. Outside of that shit, there was nothing really different from this match to their Clash at Paris match. But I'll break down a few things in the matchup. So to start, Roman really took the charge of this match early on, which led into a brawl into the crowd for both men. And the one thing I can appreciate about the overseas crowd is they let you know. That proceeded to lead to a chant of "fuck 'em up, Roman." They'll fuck him up, Roman. Fuck him up, the old ECW chant. So that's where Roman got the cricket bat and shit like that. Hit Bronson Reed with the cricket bat, threw the rugby ball at Paul Heyman, which was an actual funny moment. But Roman was taking his time, and he was, I ain't gonna say gloating a little bit, but he was celebrating his moments a little too early on. That allowed Reed to take advantage of that, and he take control of the match for a little while. But Roman stormed right back. With like a clothesline, he grabs the microphone and asks this Perth if they want tables. If they want tables, acknowledge him. And everybody acknowledged him. OTC, chants, and he got out the table from underneath the ring. The Slim Jim table. The big plaster Slim Jim logo on the table. But proceed as the theme for this match. Roman was taking too long to set things up, and that allowed Bronson Reed to catch his breath and take over the match. At that point, he started taking over the match after Roman grabbed the table, threw Roman into the steel steps. This proceeded, even though we're in Bronson Reed country, they were far from it. They were not on his side at all. They weren't on a fellow countryman's side at all. That him putting the table back, him immense. He slid the table back underneath the ring after Roman took it out. Slid it back underneath the ring, and this led to "fuck you, Reed" chants, and Reed pretty much is a wanker chant. So they love their wankers over there in Australia, man. But not that much offense from Reed. He took too long, taunting Roman again, and Roman countered with a Samoan drop on the chair for a near fall. So like he set the chair up, like kind of like if someone's sitting on the chair and they put the chair on your neck, pretty much. Like, you about to sit down basically in the chair. And Roman lifts him up. Someone drops him on the chair. The chair just fucking splats. Like, into two. And Paul Heyman picks the chair up, messes him with it, and throws it to the side. They went outside the ring, and Roman is going for a charging spear. But instead, who do we see outside the ring? Come out of literally nowhere. The man who was absent on Monday, Braun Breaker. He came out there and he delivered a fucking spear on Roman of his own out of nowhere from the crowd somewhere. We already knew this was where it was going to go, since conspicuous about his absence Monday. Braun was going to get involved in this match, and like I told you guys during the pre-show, this matchup type was like set up for Bronson Reed to get the advantage, or the Usos come out there, Braun Breaker, X, Y, Z, and we got literally all that. Soon as Braun Breaker was helping Reed with Roman, who music hits? The Usos. Jey Uso music hit, and both him and Jimmy and Jay run to the ring. And a bit of a weird moment though. As they're going to the ring, Jay stops, like he stops and pauses and tells Jimmy to stop and pause. I don't know why. Maybe they're waiting for both Bronson and Braun to get in the ring to start the attack. But that was kind of a weird moment, man. But they got in the ring, made the save, going back and forth. They take out both Braun. They take out both Brauns, as everybody called them. But Braun Breaker quickly got back up, dealt with Jimmy. He fucking did his charging spear as he always do. Charging spear on the outside of the ring into Jimmy through the barricade, and Jimmy is pretty much effectively done for the match. Pretty much. Then Jay's in the ring with Bronson. And at this point in time, the table is propped up in a corner. Jay hits Bronson with a super kick, and as he's picking up Roman, it's like it happened like simultaneously. Like Roman is behind Bronson after the super kick, and Jay goes to charge for the spear. Bronson moves out of the way, and Jay accidentally spears his cousin Roman Reigns through the table, and that effectively costed them the match. Because after that, Braun Breaker came back. He did a military press drop onto his knees. I couldn't even think of no one who done no moves like that, especially on Braun Breaker. When I say a lot of people were pulling out a lot of moves on this show, a lot of people were pulling out a lot of moves that I've never seen that particular person do. And this is one of them by Braun Breaker. So after that, Braun gets rid of Jay. Bronson Reed goes up, tsunami off the top, and he pins Roman Reigns 1, 2, 3, which was the right outcome. Like I told you guys in the predictions, man, it was supposed to happen this way. Like the stipulation match was set up for Bronson to get a win. It don't have to be clean, no matter what it is. The stipulation of a street fight, that's the right time to make Bronson Reed beat Roman Reigns, and he already lost to Roman anyway at Clash in Paris. So you can't have him lose both matches. That just don't make him look fucking not serious, pretty much. Okay, so the right outcome happened. Bronson Reed defeated Roman Reigns in a street fight, which eventually will lead to all these guys being in a maybe War Games matchup next month. That's where like it's going. But the most important thing outside of this matchup, yes, Bronson Reed got them win, and that's a huge win over Roman Reigns. Not too many people pin Roman Reigns like one-on-one in a one-on-one scenario. Bronson Reed did it. I can't think who the last person to beat him one-on-one. Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania. And the one to beat him before that, I think, was Baron Corbin. I know Jey Uso pinned him last year at Money in the Bank, or the year before. But, not in a one-on-one capacity. So, Roman hasn't lost very few matches in a one-on-one capacity. And Bronson Reed is on that list now. That's a big list to be a part of, because Roman don't lose like that in one-on-one matches. So, that's very big for him. That's why I felt like he had to win this match. But the most important thing to come out of that. So, after everything is done, the camera just panned on Roman while he's in there talking with Jimmy and Jay. Roman had a chat with him, and he told them he loves them, but he didn't want them to beat her. He told them this past Monday he don't need their help. He don't want them involved. And the camera pans into Roman, and he said, "This is the reason why I wanted to be by myself. I didn't want y'all to hear everybody in the world think I can't win shit by myself." That's the exact words he said. So, and he told the Usos that he don't want to see them until Christmas. so pretty much passing Thanksgiving. But yeah, this is the main story, man. Roman telling the Usos he don't want them interfering in his matches anymore. Like, if they're gonna do this, you only can do it one way, and they screwed up that way so far. But we all expect them to be in the War Games match. I know it's rumored to be that. We can all see the writing on the wall. But Roman walked off, and then after Roman walked off to the back, Jay and Jimmy were talking in the ring, and Jay said he's always going to do him, no matter what. And then he told Jimmy he was out. But yeah, I mean, since Roman really came back, Roman has been the same character, which I love him being the same character. I don't like him. He don't have to pander to the crowd as much. He don't have to change who he is. He just strictly over just because of his character, bro. And everybody loved the Tribal Chief shit. So it's organic that he was a heel now to make a babyface. So I like that about Roman. He don't have to change his character up. But we're going to see what plays out come Monday. But Bronson Reed picked up the win, and the storyline with Roman Reigns and the Usos continue. So will Roman be on Raw tomorrow? You got to tune in and see. Next up, man, we had the Women's Crown Jewel Championship. This is the second time they've done it. I think last year was it Nia Jax and Liv Morgan, if I remember, and Liv Morgan won the inaugural championship. These championships they're cool, but while the women were making their entrances, Michael Cole said something interesting and something that I shrugged my shoulders at. He said the winner of this match wins the Crown Jewel Championship and becomes the best or whatever. And the most important thing he said out of that gets bragging rights. We've done this bragging rights shit for the last 7 years now. And that was the whole reason Survivor Series turned into War Games from the beginning. Because Vince McMahon thought it was smart to go to a bragging rights idea. Team Raw versus Team SmackDown. And they do the store system. Nah. So for the notion of this Crown Jewel Championship match to be about bragging rights and nothing else, who cares? Honestly, these matches be obsolete. But this is one match that I was like, what the fuck? Like, everything in this match seemed very odd. The most important thing about this match is how great of a professional wrestler Stephanie Vaquero is, because she is fucking fantastic. So let's get into this matchup. The Women's World Champion Stephanie Vaquero versus the WWE Women's Champion Tiffany Stratton. Now, to start the match, the women both did really good chain wrestling, leading into a bunch of near falls and a standing ovation from the crowd. Something that was very prominent in this match for me that I was noticing very fucking early is that they were moving extremely fast in this match. Like, I ain't never seen them work so fucking fast in a match like this one. This is the quickest match I've seen Tiffany Stratton work. And she was doing a bunch of shit in this matchup where it was like, I ain't never seen her pull out any of these moves she was pulling out. I mean, she went for her swanton. I seen her do the swanton, and she need to correct the swanton as much, because that played a part in this matchup. But she went for the prettiest moonsault early, very early in the match. Missed it. Stephanie gave her the Wicked Dragon Screw in a corner, which was fucking looked crazy. Devil's Kiss. The fans enjoyed that as always. But this match was very weird, man, because everything was so fucking fast. Like, before you know it, Tiffany taking off her arm sleeves and throwing them away. Anytime a superstar does that, you know the match is about to come to an end. You can do the same thing for Brock Lesnar. Whenever he takes off his MMA gloves, you know the match is about to end. And I feel like they just didn't give the woman enough time in this matchup. And you can tell because the fucking match went under 11 minutes. I'm just like, what? You have a Crown Jewel Championship match like this with Stephanie Vaquero and Tiffany Stratton, you give them under 11 minutes? Like, this match, it was cool. It was okay. Both women still did what they needed to do in this matchup to make it a decent, good match. But I thought they could have gave the women a little more time. The finish saw Tiffany Stratton go for her swanton. And the way she do her swanton is, she gonna fucking break her neck one day doing that shit. Knock on wood, she don't, but she need to rotate a little earlier. Because she rotated and Stephanie's knees came right down in the back of her neck, bro. That shit looked gnarly, bro. And Stephanie finished her off with that corkscrew moonsault she be hitting. That corkscrew splash she hit. That she hit on Iyo Sky to win the championship. She did the same thing here and picked up the win and become the women's Crown Jewel champion and hold the ring. Um, I don't know, man. Decent match. But they both women can produce better. This one the best match, but this still is a good match. They can do way better though. Couple thoughts on Tiffany Stratton, man. I told you guys in the prediction show. I know everybody could have hammered it out themselves, but with them pointing out the fact that she was undefeated this whole entire year, you knew she was not going to beat Stephanie Baker. It was just written. You know what I'm saying? Tiffany Stratton has had one of the most lackluster performances as champion in the modern era. She has had a mediocre title reign. Like I said before, that isn't due to her. It's just they haven't but no other competitors on that brand. She fought Nia Jax maybe 6-7 times this year alone. She fought Charlotte once. I don't even know who she Jade Cargill at SummerSlam. Like, she had very few little challengers, and she was barely featured on most matches, most PLEs, because they have no one there for her. So coming out of these next couple pay-per-views, or however you want to do it, the end of the year, beginning of the new year, they need to bolster the SmackDown division because they need challengers for Tiffany Stratton. If she's gonna keep the championship, or anybody get this championship, they need challengers. You can't just keep rotating the same motherfuckers over and over and over. Get more women up on the roster so she can have more challengers, whoever the champion may be. Because SmackDown need help in that division, and it's you can see it, man. It's ridiculous. Stephanie Baker, on the other hand, women's world champion now, crown jewel champion. She's just now getting started in her reign, so time will tell. But hopefully the fans don't get tired of Stephanie Baker in the future, because she getting a whole lot though. Like, she just debuted on the main roster maybe 3.5 months ago, 4 months. She's got a lot in that little bit of time, so hopefully they can tone it back a little bit. Don't feed her as much shit, so the crowd don't get overstimulated or overwhelmed or exhausted from it. We'll see. We'll see what comes out of everything. Monday they have him Monday Night Raw at 8 a.m. Same time they did for Crown Jewel in Perth. Next up, the only reason to watch this show, period, point blank, AJ Styles versus John Cena. Man, enjoy these dudes while they're here, man. Cena's run's about to come to an end. He has 4 dates left, bro. 4 dates left in his retirement tour. AJ Styles made it prevalent at the pre-show. 2026 will be his last year as a professional wrestler. And man, this was a fucking classic. This match is going to be a match that people go back and talk about for years and years and years to come. Decades. This is going to be one of those matches, man. This was just that great. Just like all the rest of their matches, Money in the Bank, SummerSlam, the Royal Rumble, now Crown Jewel. John Cena and AJ Styles put on bangers, man. And it ain't no surprise because these are the type of competitors they are. But, man, this fucking match was awesome, man. They paid homages, man. This is what it's like to be a pro wrestling fan. This is what it's like to be in the professional wrestling business. And I was on Twitter this morning, and I saw some of the reactions. Kazarian reacted to it. I saw Undertaker's reaction to it. Man, phenomenal, bro. These two tore the fucking building down, and that fucking Australia crowd was pumped. My God. So remember when I told you guys earlier in the video, I saw all these yellow shirts? It made sense because John Cena had his shirts were yellow. So I was like, what the fuck is all this sea of yellow, man? Go back and watch the show. The crowd was pretty much at least 85% all yellow, bro, for John Cena. This crowd was white hot for Cena and AJ Styles. AJ Styles brought the throwback attire, the TNA days attire before he started wearing the tights back in like 07, 08. He put on the shorts that he used to wear back in the day with the 2 elbow pads, the wrist tape. Man, that's vintage AJ Styles. If you know, you know, bro. He came back out there It might have been the same. I think it's the same tights, to be honest. Because AJ Styles, he's in phenomenal shape, no pun intended. At his age he is now. What is that, 48? He's still in phenomenal shape. But he came out there in the OG AJ Styles attire, man. It was fucking awesome. And we get into the ring, and Alicia Taylor does the John Cena, the greatest of all time, the never seen 17, the last real champion introduction for John Cena, gracing everybody with his presence for one final time. And then something cool happened. John Cena gave Alicia Taylor another note, and it was an introduction for AJ Styles. And she said something along the lines of the epitome of total non-stop action. The ace and the leader of the Bullet Club, which popped AJ Styles. And popped me too, because I wouldn't expect them to say anything about the Bullet Club. That's why I think it was purely written from John Cena. For sure, it had to be written. And you said, can he see one more time? Can he beat up John Cena? The face that runs this place, the phenomenal AJ Styles. That introduction was so, like, everything from the introductions to the match, paying homages to the ending was fucking awesome, bro. This is the reason you have to watch this match. This is the reason why I said this should have been a main event in the predictions, because I already knew this match was gonna be fucking insane from a whole eclectic level, bro. It delivered on everything for a pro wrestling fan, or if you ain't a pro wrestling fan, you should watch this match. Let's get into this match, man. A lot of back and forth, and they showed respect from both men at the beginning of the match. But AJ started to take the majority of the match until he ran into a clothesline from John Cena. And then John Cena, you know, he did his John Cena, the shoulders, the back suplex. Then he go for the five knuckle shuffle, but Styles countered it. But Cena reversed his counter and actually went to the five knuckle shuffle to an AA just for a near fall. That sequence was pretty cool because Cena to get back up, reverse AJ Styles reverse, and go back into the five knuckle shuffle was pretty fucking cool. Styles delivered the Oshi Doroshi, and shout out to Mauro Ranallo, because if you know, you know. That's what he used to always call it. That's the move. He used to always say it on SmackDown back in the day, and Michael Cole even shouted him out. Mauro was a great breath of fresh air back in those days for the SmackDown Live crew. AJ, he did like a John Cena gave AJ Styles like the skull crushing finale from the minute. So this is the first time they did one of the pan homages. Okay. John Cena did the skull crushing finale, and we know how much The Miz hates that he's not one of John Cena's opponents, because he talked about it like maybe on Twitter or maybe on an interview or something like that. But this is John Cena paying homage to him. Like, John Cena has paid homage to a lot of people in recent matches. Edge. You can go back as far as to his match at Clash in Paris. He's doing a whole lot of paying homages. This is the first one. Styles countered that into an STFU. And then into a crossface. And John Cena countered the crossface into an accolade, which is Rusev's move. So John Cena go back to paying homage to one of his former opponents that he faced at WrestleMania. Rusev, man, because we probably don't get that match. And then AJ Styles countered that into a coquina clutch, paying homage to Samoa Joe. Like, bruh, to get Joe, I didn't think they'd put nobody from AEW in there like Samoa Joe, but that's like, you can't mention AJ Styles without Samoa Joe. That's like that's his equal, man. And then Cena countered the coquina clutch into a fucking Walls of Jericho, and that popped the fuck out of the crowd. They started chanting Y2J. Through all these counters, like the coquina clutch, you heard a little bit of faint chants of Joe. You heard a faint chant of that. But when John Cena put that Walls of Jericho on, all you heard was Y2J. And I think Chris Jericho will be back in WWE. He might be back here sooner rather than later. Might come back after the Royal Rumble. You never fucking know around that time. Jericho know what he's doing. He milking it out. He saw that reaction in Perth. He ain't gonna say nothing, but he saw it. So he know what he doing. We gonna leave that there. And AJ Styles countered the Walls and Jericho into a calf crusher, which he know how to do because Jericho was his first opponent at WrestleMania 32. Then Styles went and had the Styles Clash for a near fall. So they just took the crowd on a roller coaster of emotions there. Ups and downs, ups and... This crowd at this point was fucking electric, bruh. You know how WWE typically do the crowd meter and shit? They should have did it for this match alone. Because the crowd was blowing the roof off this fucking place for this shit, man. And do you blame them? I don't blame them because this match is fucking awesome. So then Styles went up top, right? John Cena was about to do an AA, right? Styles countered it, and then they get on the mat. John Cena goes for a fucking Sister Abigail. And he nailed this picture perfect. The kiss and then the Sister Abigail for a 2 count. But the crowd was electric. Saying like, thank you, Wyatt. Thank you, Wyatt. And then after the near fall, the Fireflies came out. And WWE got the awesome crowd shot of everybody with the Fireflies. And you can see Cena's face look up for a little minute. You know, acknowledge it. That the crowd was chanting for Wyatt. And that was pretty cool, man. That was a pretty cool last moment. I know it had to be cool for Bo Dallas if he was in the back watching it. Or anybody in the Rotunda family for sure. Then after that, Styles went for a fucking Angel's Wings. Connected it. Shout out to Christopher Daniels, another one of his TNA long time guys, one of his best friends. He fucking paid homage to all his best friends, all the people he used to ride with back in the day. Daniels, Kazarian, Joe, and Styles. Those are like his 3 main guys for sure. He hit a fucking Angel's Wings, which was fucking dope for a near fall. I would never think I would say, and they acknowledged it. I would never think they would acknowledge something that's TNA like Christopher Daniels like that since he in AEW. You know what I'm saying? Because you know how WWE is. Then later in the match, Cena delivered a fucking Orton DDT, apron DDT. and Michael Cole talking about vintage John Cena. Like, we get where you going, but it's vintage Randy Orton, brother. And then he started doing Randy Orton's mannerisms, pounding on the mat. As soon as AJ turns around, hits him with the RKO for a near fall. I'm like, bruh. After the near fall, Cena went in for the punt. How Orton do? Styles ducked it. Then he countered with an AA for a near fall. So he hit Cena with his own move for a near fall. Like, this match is crazy, bro. And then as AJ Styles going for the 5-knuckle shuffle, John Cena, he grabs AJ by the throat like Undertaker used to do back in the day, lifts him up, choke slam for a fucking near fall. Then at this point, the crowd starts chanting for 619, 619, and I'm like me just watching. I'm like, nah, ain't no way. Like, I think he gonna do a lot of this shit in these last 4 matches for sure. Like, with Survivor Series being in San Diego, I see him facing Dominic for sure for the IC strap. And you're gonna see him pull out a lot of those moves. Like his last match in Washington D.C., I can see him pulling out the Batista bomb in Washington, D.C., paying homage to Batista. So that's why I think he going to save that shit at for sure. But the crowd was they was chanting for 619. I'm like, nah, he going to have to say that. He actually he read the room, you know what I mean, read the crowd, put AJ Styles in the 619 position. But as soon as he bounced back from the ropes, AJ Styles countered into a clothesline. And the fans did not like that. They started booing the fuck out of that. But man, you can't get everybody everything too soon. Y'all got everything pretty much in this match, man. How the fuck can you boo that? But after the clothesline, AJ Styles went up to the side, did his 450 splash, his springboard 450 splash for another near fall. And then as Cena is on the mat, AJ Styles goes to the corner, tunes up the band, and he delivers a fucking sweet chin music. Only getting a 2 count. But for the finish, AJ was about to he's about to jump off the top. You know how everybody does when it's John Cena matches. So at this point, John Cena, to set this up, John Cena puts AJ on the top rope. Right? He's about to do the AA from the top, but AJ counters it, pushes Cena off, and Cena in position. AJ dives off, Cena catches him, rolls over like the vintage John Cena would do. Rolls over, picks him up, and as JBL would call it, Bit Match John hits the AA, right? Now he puts him up, turns it into a tombstone. Tombstones AJ, another homage to Undertaker, and then immediately picks AJ up, hits him with the AA, covers him for the 1, 2, and 3. This fucking match was awesome, bro. This match had to go. Let me see. Yeah, this match went at least about 27 minutes, bro. 27 minutes of pure fucking gold, man. At the end, they both hug it out. AJ Styles gave the ring to John Cena for Cena to celebrate. And man, you gotta enjoy this shit, man. Last time we see both of these men in the ring, sharing the ring one-on-one together. Like, 2026 is about to be a crazy year. Both of these men are about to retire. The ace of New Japan is about to retire. Things about to look very fucking different very soon, man. I hope they extend AJ's contract to the end of 2026. Let him just do this whole 2026 deal. I know his contract supposed to be up early 2026, but from this reaction, you got to have AJ play out the whole entire year, man. You got to. Let him get a last run with the title. Let him go out in a reasonable fashion, because this past year they didn't really do too much, man, with AJ, and it was demoralizing at points, man, because you had him fucking face Logan Paul, lose, Dominic Mysterio, lose, and in the qualifying match, lose. Like, AJ Styles, they ain't been booking him on the AJ Styles level at all, and AJ Styles looks great for his age, still can go in there and move with the best of them, still perform with the best of them. Get all you can out of AJ Styles while he's still here. So WWE should book something on where to get the championship on AJ, man. Sometime in the future, man. We got to get one last AJ title run, bro. Just for the fans. Because this was a fucking phenomenal match. And I'm using his pun intended because it was phenomenal. But John Cena flashed the 4 to the camera. 4 dates left, man. 4 dates left. I know he has Saturday night's main event. He has that show in Boston. He has Survivor Series. And I forget what the 4th one is. I think the DC show. But yeah, that's it, man. It for John Cena. It's his last overseas match, man. Every appearance now gonna be in the U.S. So we gotta buckle up, man. Enjoy the ride that they taking us on. Next up, man, we have Rhea Ripley, the country girl, the Australia's own Rhea Bloody Ripley, Iyo Sky versus the Kabuki Warriors. This match was they booked it well. This was pretty much like your classic tag team match, right? With the Kabuki Warriors instantly attacking both Iyo and Rhea at the beginning of the match, because them two discussing who's going to start the matchup. Asuka and Kairi attacked both, and they worked over Iyo for the majority of the match, really. Iyo got some hold spots for sure. Like, she had knocked out Kairi out of the way, and then she bounces off the ropes and suicide dives into Asuka and started beating up Asuka on the outside of the ring. But this was your cookie cutter tag team match. They booked it in a fashion where Iyo would get a lot of the heat, and then Rhea would have the hot tag. So that was how it was set up. That's how it was meant to be set up, and that's how it should have been set up. That was booked the right way, because Rhea is this is her homeland. This is where she's from. The crowd went ape shit when she came out. They're going to go ape shit when she goes back and gets tagged into the match. It's crazy ass spots in this matchup. Toward the latter part of the match, for the finish, Kairi Sane, she took the bullet for Asuka, right? So she tagged herself in for Asuka, and Rhea saw this. Rhea came through and delivered a ferocious fucking big boot to Kairi on the outside, bro. I was like, damn, she knocked her fucking block off with that damn thing, right? She brings her back in the ring, hits the riptide, and let Iyo come off the top for the moonsault and pick up the win. So we already knew what the result was going to be. They booked it the right way, kind of like how the mixed tag was with CM Punk and AJ versus Becky and Rollins. They booked it the same way where CM Punk will get the bulk of the heat, and then everybody will wait for that AJ Lee that AJ Lee tagged to see how she would be performing. Same thing here. Get that big pop, let Rhea do her thing, and she let Iyo get the win over Kyrie. So now we know, and we know why Kyrie was in the match. She was gonna eat the pin regardless. I didn't expect Iyo to get the pin. I expected Rhea to get the pin, but same result, no less. But we know where this is eventually going. You gotta go either Iyo versus Asuka. Don't know where Kairi Sane plays in the part. We sure she's gonna be that emotional strain at this point. Because she's not really fully on Asuka's side. She's just doing what Asuka is telling her to do. She still want to make them a family. So we know she's going to play a part between both of them. I think Rhea may be done with this and be heading towards somewhere else, since we're in the midst of heading towards Survivor Series. So Rhea will probably be doing her own thing by then. Not sure she'll be going after Stephanie McCurry, but she'll be doing something. But decent match. Went about 20 minutes. But the right way, but the way it was supposed to be booked, and we already knew the result. Now let's get to the main event of the evening. The Men's Crown Jewel Championship. Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins, WWE Champion, versus the World Heavyweight Champion for the Crown Jewel Championship. And bragging rights, Bragging rights. And who's going to lead the future? Who's going to set the future, as Seth Rollins puts it? This match was okay. It was a good match. I like their other matches way better, though. If I had to rank them, WrestleMania would be 1, Hell in a Cell would be 2, this would be 3, and their Backlash match would be 4. This match was just super long. And this go back to the reason from earlier when I was talking about the Women's Crown Jewel Championship. They made this match almost 30 fucking minutes. You telling me you couldn't take about 5 or 8 minutes off this match, or 7 minutes, and give it to Stephanie and Tiffany? This match was a fucking draw. You know what I'm saying? It was long to get through. I guess because of the story, they wanted to make it that way. But this match didn't need to be as long as it was. It was a good match. Don't get me wrong. It was a really good match. And Seth Rollins pulled out a lot of stops in this match. He did shit in this match I didn't see Seth Rollins ever do. He, at one point in the matchup, did a fucking coast to coast. That's Shane McMahon territory. But instead of doing a drop kick, he did a fucking headbutt. I've never seen Seth Rollins do a coast to coast in my life. Ever since I've been watching it, he might have did it on the indies, but I've never seen him do it there. At one point, he was going to take the watch off and use the watch on Cody, but he was apprehensive on doing that, so he dropped the watch. Seth's gear was pretty cool. He had the polka dots, mixed in with little fusions from all his previous outfits that he had when he fought Cody Rhodes. Like that WrestleMania outfit was a little fuse in there. The polka dots from Hell in a Cell was in there, and I think he had the same suit at WrestleMania Backlash. So all this attires that he had was mixed into one. Pretty cool, but this match was just lighter than all the matches there had to me. You know what you're going to get out of this. Two dudes doing pretty well, but this match just didn't need to be how long it was. Finish saw Seth Rollins use the watch. He used the watch on Cody, and then he delivered the stomp for the win. So at the end all be all, the watch he was apprehensive on using. At the middle part of the match, he used it on Cody to pick up the win, cheat the win, so Cody can have an out. So he can officially beat Cody, but not really beat Cody cleanly. So that's the only thing I was curious about when it comes to the match. How are they going to do the booking? How are they going to have Seth beat him clean? Because Cody beat him clean all matches they have. And it turns out he wasn't going to beat him clean. Gives Cody an out. Now we got to see what happens Monday, where they go. Do they go LA Knight and Seth Rollins again? And Seth Rollins beats LA Knight. I don't know where that goes for what that does for LA Knight, because he's already lost to Seth Rollins, in a sense, really. Fatal 4-way match, he lost. He didn't get pinned, but he lost. You know what I mean? I'm more in the line for having LA Knight win the championship, just so you can have something different besides Seth Rollins and CM Punk, which eventually we're going to get to. Let's have a transitional champion somewhere or something. But this match, you can really skip this match. It's a good match, but it was just long as fuck. It didn't need to be that long. But that's Crown Jewel Perth in the Butts. A great show. I really enjoyed it. We're gonna see what happened. We're gonna see what happened Monday. Really, I skipped out on the backstage segment with Division because pretty much it was still the same thing that they was proclaiming all week with Seth Rollins these prior weeks. What's it gonna be if he loses to Cody? He needs to beat Cody. What's gonna happen? You guys know what's gonna happen. Like, same thing. So I wasn't gonna get into that. But great show overall. Definitely better than WrestlePalooza. Now we're heading towards Survivor Series, and what are they gonna do to book these shows and have us interested into watching Survivor Series outside of just everybody goes in a War Game match. So we'll see. I'll see you guys in the next video. You guys take care, man. That was Crown Jewel Perth. Peace out, y'all.